KC9SIO. Okay, this is VT7LE. I guess that's sufficient time. Let me turn down the other radio in the background. Just we don't want to be interrupted by the VinWiz net on System Fusion, or we have another net going in the background. But the Raspberry Pi takes priority. So this is the Raspberry Pi net that takes place every Monday night on Reflector 38 Charlie. Confirm, yes, I am Reflector 38 Charlie at 7 p.m. Pacific Daylight Savings or 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Every night we have a different controller. Every Monday night we have a different controller. So being the 5th Monday of the month of July, it is my turn. And my name is Ted, and I am also the founder of the Raspberry Pi that I started, I don't know, over 4 years ago now, I believe. And so, the format of tonight, I guess we'll have announcements. And with that, after announcements, we'll have the question and answer period. We can answer questions about the Raspberry Pi or similar computers. And after the announcement, we'll have the check-in portion. This way you can brag about it, tell us how many Raspberry Pis, Androids, all sorts of things, what you got going, or what you hope to get. So first of all, let's go on to announcements. Is there anybody with an announcement? If you do, please key up with your name and your call sign. This is EE7LEE, your net control. KC8YQL. Okay, there we go. Lock it on. So our first announcement, maybe our only announcement, is Bill. KC8YQL. Go ahead there, Bill, with your announcement.
Okay, Ted. Well, first and foremost, like I always tell all the net controllers on here, thanks for hosting the net for us tonight. And I'm sure you're going to do an awesome job. And hopefully hear a whole lot of awesome technical questions and answers here, too. And you know me, I'm always in here kind of hijacking the PiNet. So what I got is something that does work on the Raspberry Pi, but I don't think too many people's using them on there. That's the DV thumb drive by Northwest Digital. So what I want to talk about just for a couple seconds here, well, more than a couple seconds. David, I think it's Papa Alpha 7 Lima, has written the new DV application. Basically start out for just Android devices, and now it stems out to do not only Android, but it does Windows, and they also got an app for the iPhone guys out there now called the iStack board. But the interesting part about the new DV is it does work on Windows now. So with just a couple days, maybe 3 days, I'm not sure what when he put it out, there was a pre-release version of DV that runs the thumbstick drive now. And it does run in all three modes, with the exception of Fusion. It's not enabled yet, but it is on the control panel. So I'm pretty sure he'll be enabling the Fusion before too much longer. And what's cool about this device is if you don't want to experiment and fool around with the Raspberry Pi and writing a script and all that, you can get this, and it's kind of plug and play. And it's $19 for the DV thumb drive to do all the digital modes. So I guess it might be about the cheapest way of getting into all the digital modes without having to spend the money to buy an RF radio, which is basically what you'd be doing with the Pi board and a Mega board after to buy a radio for each mode. not really my cup of tea. I like using the radio. But for those on a limited budget, this is probably about the cheapest way of getting on all the boats. Let me do a reset. Real quick now, the other thing just happened today. Some of you guys may have seen it. It's a tablet that has a UHF transceiver built in it with an antenna on the tablet. And I guess it's only UHF, and it does do DMR. So this is called a RUNBO. That's spelled RUNBO. Romeo United November Bravo Oscar. RUNBO. And it's a P12 UHF DMR. I've got a link here for it, Ted, but I don't know how I'm going to get that to you guys without going reading through the whole thing. Although it's not that long. It's the HTT and a colon, and it's QRZnow.com. And then / that name of the unit, RUNBO P12 UHF D8 DMR. And I guess we need to be on DRATS, because on DRATS, on Jimmy's net, on 20 Alpha, I tacked the link right on DRATS, and I had a few people that copied and pasted it. So there you go, Ted. There's another announcement for you. Find out if the other net controllers want to run DRATS in the background while they're running the Raspberry Pi net. Uh-oh, I really stirred up the pot tonight, didn't I? KC8Y2L is back to you, sir. Sorry for taking so long.
And thank you there, Bill. And for those who don't know who Jim is, that's the NS3K out of Philadelphia. The guy who goes to Dayton, Ohio also. I ran into him there. Thank you for that announcement. Is there anybody else with any announcements before we go to the question and answer period? If so, key up now with your name and your call sign. This is VE7LEE, your net controller. Okay, with that being no further announcement, we'll go into the meat of tonight's net, the question and answer period. This is where you get to ask your questions to do with the Raspberry Pi. We'll also talk about the Raspberry Pi. We mean the different models and the different configurations. Also the Arduino, the BeagleBoard, and if anybody has the Orange or the Banana Pi, I don't know. I think ever since the Raspberry Pi came out with the newer models, those ones kind of died off to the wayside. And but we'll attempt to answer your question. So if you have a question, please key up now with your name and your call sign, and Net Control will recognize you. This is VE7LEE. Well, to start off, since people are shy, I have a question that I heard tonight on the System Fusion Net, the MinWiz, Minnesota, Wisconsin. And you were also talking about Raspberry Pis. And they were talking about setting up a virtual network to pass the ports through. So one of the other things that's good for a Raspberry Pi is to set up a virtual network at home. So you can go to Canada, we can watch Netflix on there, the American version of Netflix, because we get the Canadian version, and do all sorts of things. Can anybody recommend or know where we can get the software images? Is there already images already, or is there an application program we can run to run a virtual network on the Raspberry Pi? So that will be my question to get us started. If you know the answer or have any suggestions, please key up. And if you have your own question, you can ask it too. Just key up with your name and your call sign, and Net Control will recognize you. Okay, with that, we'll go on to the next portion of the net there. So we'll go into the check-in portion. And also during the check-in portion, if you have a question, you can bring it up there. And seeing as any smart operators out there who may know the answer. Because even though I've been doing this for 4 years, I may not be the sharpest tool in the tool shed. Isn't that right there, Bill? And he's laughing in the background. So in groups of 5, please. Please check in with your name and your call sign, and I'll write it down. I hope I can get it right there. So no quick keying, because I'm not as fast as some people. Name and call sign. This is EP7LEE, your Net Control.
November 6, Charlie Zulu Echo, and the name is Gary.
Kilo Charlie 9, Uniform Delta Alpha. I'm up in Wisconsin.
K2ILH, Bill, Amherst, New York. No questions, thank you.
Okay, I'll take the first 3 there. We have Gary, Tom, and Bill. November 6th, Charlie Zulu Echo. Gary, you're up first. Go ahead there with your any comments for the net.
Well, a very good evening to you, Ted, and everyone on the net. M6CZE here. Name is Gary. We're in Montclair, California. We're using DV dongle to get into the system site. The Raspberry Pi is taking the day off. And I was kind of interested earlier. The gentleman was talking about that new deal to get on the internet. But if I'm not mistaken, the one he was talking about, and I may be wrong here, I have a BlueStack, and it allows you to do the different modes, and you can either do it without a Raspberry Pi or use your dual band radio with that Raspberry Pi, which is, I still need to use a radio, and I wonder if he was talking about something different that allowed you to get on the air without a radio using the BlueStack, or if it's another board altogether. So that was kind of my question there, and back to you, sir, N6CZE.
Thank you there, Gary, for that. Let's see if Bill can add some clarification to that. KC8YQ, are you still there, Bill?
Maybe bad. You know, I think, Ted, I'm probably speaking for yourself, too, and I know I am for me. Doing the D-Star from the very beginning, I just assume everybody knows about the DV thumb drive. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Ted, you can help me out on this. Wasn't the DV thumb drive out before a lot of the other devices? Let's see. I bet the Mega Board was already out before that, though. So, yeah, anyway, short answer to the question without dragging my feet here is yes, I'm talking about using a computer microphone and computer speakers and not having to spend the extra money to buy a radio. And not really my cup of tea. I like using radios. So, you know, I guess if I did not have the money, I could still get on the digital mode, you know, at a budget price. That's kind of what I'm looking at for some of the folks. So, yeah, if you don't have the money to spend right now up front, say you're a new hand for younger kids getting their license. We got a 13-year-old boy got licensed a couple of years ago. He's about 15, 16. He might have been 4 years ago. Anyway, he's just now getting his feet kind of wet, so to speak, in digital. So and he's on a limited budget. So I mentioned this to him, and I think he's going to get hooked up with one. So it's good for the folks who don't have a lot of money up front. Also good for the folks who can't put an outdoor antenna up, but there again, with a hotspot, you don't need the outdoor antenna either. So, Ted, fill in the gaps for me. What am I missing? The DV thumb drive is basically like a DVAP dongle on D-Star. Not a DVAP. Blue DV DV dongle. It's using your computer speakers and a microphone only. You cannot use a radio with it. It does not have an RF transceiver built in it. If you want a USB dongle that has an RF transceiver in it, you got to spend as much money as you spend to buy an OpenSpot Shark RF and buy the ambient chipset version and the DV4 Mini. And I don't know that I recommend anybody to do that. You're going to spend a little over a couple $100. My goodness, don't even blink an eye. Grab an OpenSpot because they work awesome. And of course, 5 boards do too. Back to Nat there and fill in some gaps if I missed something, Ted. KC8YQL.
Thank you there, Bill, for that. I hope you understood that, Gary. Yes, so the thumb drive by Northwest Digital, I believe. You can go to Northwest Digital and look at a picture of it. It looks very similar to the DV4 Mini, but there's no little radio antenna on the end. Instead, it has a jack for the microphone and the earpiece or something, and you plug that in. I forget what I said there. I gotta go look at it myself because it's been about a year since I looked at it. I may get confused because I have the DV4 Mini, which will do all three because it has a little RF device in it. I also have the DVAP dongle, the red one, and but that only does D-Star. The DV4 Mini does all 4 or 5. C4FM, G25, DMR, D-Star, and C4FM, depending on what radios you have. So me, yes, I'm an earlier pioneer, so I got all 3 digital radios. So that cost me some money there. But times have changed, so we hope we answered your question there, Gary, before we go on to Tom. So do you have any further questions or follow-up there, Gary? EE7LEE.
No, that just about does. I was familiar with the DV4 Mini and that type of thing, but I didn't know if there was a way you could use it with just the hotspot board. All right, very good. I'll let you go to the next one, and thank you for clarifying that to me. N6CZ.
No problem. That's why we're here. Next is Tom, KC9, Uniform Delta Alpha. Go ahead there, sir.
Good evening, Ted, and everyone on the Raspberry Pi D-Star. Just got home a little bit ago. Don't have too much to report up here in Wisconsin. I enjoy coming here on Monday nights and listening to the net and using my DV. Yeah, let's try again. My DVAP and my Raspberry Pi with a power bank. It helps me get around. Probably this week I'm going to end up getting ready to get it all set up for a hotspot for when I'm out in the mobile. So with that, thanks for doing the net, Ted. And KC98, back to you.
No problem. It gives me a reason to take the night off from work. Otherwise, I would have been on the sugar ship tonight. In the summertime, the sugar ship's not very nice to work on because all that sweet sugar, all kinds of flies, the bees, and the wasps resist. We're talking, how many tons of sugar? Well, we're talking 20, 30,000 tons of sugar. So, yes, it's one of the biggest attractions in Vancouver. But thank you there, Tom. So next we have Bill there, K2ILH. You said you had no questions. Do you have any comments or anything you want to tell us there about the net there, Bill? Go ahead.
This is Bill, KQILH in Amherst, New York. Between Buffalo and Niagara Falls, on the border with Canada, to the west, where we've had a lovely day, and we're looking forward to tomorrow. I have no comment for the net tonight, thank you, but I do enjoy it. Over.
Well, you're welcome there, Bill. Yes, this is, for some people, this is the last net of the evening. And that, because it's past 10 o'clock there at night. And that, so that some people go to bed. So let's see if anybody else has any check-ins or questions for the net. I'm at the bottom of my list. If you'd like to join us, please key up with your name and your call sign. This is Ted, and I am your net control. EE7LEE.
November Kilo 8, Mike. My name is James.
KD6QPJ, Aaron.
W4QED, the name is Ben.
Okay, we got 4 stations there. We got November Kilo 8 Mike, W4QED. We got Kilo Delta 6 QPK, Aaron, I believe. And we got Ben, W4QED. Oh, I got him twice there, I see. But anyways, there, November 6-8 Mike, you're up first. Please go ahead.
Correction on the call sign. It's November Kilo 8, Mike. That's it. Good evening to the net, and thank you for allowing me to join in. I do have a quick question or two here, if nobody minds. First one being is I run primarily mobile using the Raspberry Pi with a DV Mega board. Does anybody know if or of a brand of power bank that will allow me to charge as it is also providing power to the Raspberry Pi? I picked one up. It was, I believe, Energizer by brand, but as soon as I plug it in to charge it, it kills the outbound power. So I basically just wanted to use the power bank as a buffer if something happened or what have you. Second question is, does anybody know of a more rugged case, preferably one that is made of a metal alloy of some sort with a fan that will fit the Raspberry Pi and DV Mega and will have some way to break out the Wi-Fi antenna as well? And I think that's all I've got. November Kilo 8 Mike, back to net control.
Thank you. November Kilo 8 Mike. Yes, I wrote it down. I took off my glasses so I can see now. Okay, does anybody have any answers about the power bank, a way he can charge and operate at the same time? Because most power banks have a switch that switches between the USB and the mini USB there, either charging or giving out his power. And does anybody know about a metal case there with a cooling fan that will have a little outlet there for the RF to come out or hook up the antenna outside of the metal box that can help out the station? Please key up now if you have any possible solutions.
KD6QPK.
KB.
Okay, go ahead there, KD6QPK.
So I apologize, I don't have a good answer for your second question. But as for the first one, I do have an Anker battery, and they make a wide variety of batteries. I don't recall exactly which one it is. One of the PowerCore batteries. I think that may be the only kind that they make. Anyway, it's a cell phone battery, so it has two USB outputs. One is 1A and the other is 2 amps. I think the newer ones have two 2-amp outputs. But mine will, in fact, allow you to charge and also send output to the USB devices, at least when I'm charging my phone, since I only have a single AC to USB adapter in my bedroom. I will charge the battery and also charge my cell phone at the same time. So it seems to work. Don't know if it's manufacturer recommended, but it seems to work for me. And I suppose even if it doesn't work, you'll still end up with a darn good battery, because I've been very pleased with the Anker batteries. So hopefully that helps. Okay.
Kilo Delta 9, Golf Bravo Tango.
KB9G.
Okay, well, let's see what John has to say there. Kilo Delta 9, Golf Bravo Tango. Go ahead there, John.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for letting me jump in here. I've got one. I just got it on sale at Menards here in Urbana for Champaign, Illinois. It was $10. It's got 10,000 milliamp hours. It provides 2.1 amps output. There's 3 USB jacks. It's called 100%. And the catalog number or the model number I can give you if one wants it. It's M Mike Papa Uniform Mike 10,000. And it does charge while it provides power.
Okay, thank you. So, November Kilo 8 Mike there. I guess you got 2 answers about the power bank, nothing about the cooling fan. Do you have any follow-up questions while we got these 2 other stations on the air?
No, sir, I do have no follow-up questions, but I do wish to say thank you to both stations that contributed answers to it. 7-3.
You're welcome. And if you use a hardened systems one, which is not metal, make sure you put a piece of electrical tape over the battery terminal inside, because this one station whose DVAP came loose, or the Raspberry Pi came loose, and something burned, and he wasn't happy about it. Okay, thank you for that. Next, we have Whiskey 4 Quebec Echo Delta. Ben, go ahead there with in your comments for the net.
Yes, W4QED in here. I'm just north of Orlando. I use some pies around the house to do various things, projects. Also have it on WordPress if anybody wants to follow. But other than that, no other comments. Nice finding the net. My fault if I double keyed there before. I didn't have my lockdown and thought I didn't make a transmission. This is W4QED out.
No problem there. I'm using a dongle right now and listening on the DVAP, using a Raspberry Pi in the background. Okay, next is Aaron there. KD6 Quebec Papa Kilo. Go ahead there, Aaron.
Thank you. It's my first time on the net. I'm actually talking on this net via a DV Mega, which arrived 2 days ago in the mail. And so I had no problems hooking it up and turning it on, and loaded up the D-Star Commander image on the SD card, and seems to work great. Haven't had any issues so far, so quite pleased with it. Sound okay. And I do have a question for the net. So, house, we are currently on baby watch. My wife's due date was about 3 days ago, and been thinking about a project that I was working on a while back, but kind of set aside for a little bit. Maybe thinking about reviving it. The idea was to create a baby monitor, but one that's a little more secure. So as far as the software goes, I don't really see any problem with that. I already had something working. That wasn't too much trouble. Just set up a simple streaming server that I could stream from my wife's phone or my phone. Don't really care about video. Just audio, simple audio. And the reason I wanted to build my own was just for a little added security over the network. Anyway, the only component that I was having hard time figuring out was a microphone that was going to be sensitive enough. I just bought a cheap little USB mic and tried that, and that wasn't anywhere near sensitive enough. I was hoping to find something that wouldn't break the bank, but would be at least sensitive enough to let us hear more than just the loudest sounds in the room. So I guess that's my question. I hope that's all right. Not terribly ham radio related, but certainly Raspberry Pi related. So KD6QPK.
Okay, thank you for that. Well, let's see if anybody comes back. Anybody know of any microphones you can plug in USB? You can plug into the Raspberry Pi? Because I'm thinking, doesn't the Raspberry Pi 3 have a built-in microphone, but you might be using a 2 or a 1? It has a built-in Wi-Fi, but I could be wrong. I don't have a Raspberry Pi 3. So does anybody have any suggestions there for the last station? Please key up now with your name and your call sign.
W4LKS. Randy has some ideas.
Well, go ahead there, Randy, one of the net controllers, W4LKS.
Well, we use one called a Blue Snowball at work and in our conference room, and it picks up everything in the room. It's very sensitive, and it has a three-way switch, so it can be cardioid, or it can be, bidirectional, and it can be omnidirectional, which picks up everything in the room. So, yeah, I think it goes brand new for about $50. Yeah, it's a USB microphone from a company called Blue, and it's their Snowball model, which I've personally used. I'd recommend that. Yeah, I think the last guy who had questions also was asking, is there a way to put an external Wi-Fi on a Raspberry Pi? I think that's what he was asking. External Wi-Fi antenna, that is. And you can't use the internal Wi-Fi of Raspberry Pi with an external antenna because the Wi-Fi antenna is actually an etching on the circuit board. But you could plug in an external Wi-Fi adapter, USB Wi-Fi adapter, and get better signal that way if you wanted to. Get a USB extension cord and put it on the end of the extension cord and tape it to the wall of Pi. You could do that probably. Also a suggestion, what I do to power my Raspberry Pi in my car is not put it on a big battery.
but I got a device called a USB Buddy, which gives you a USB port with enough amps for Raspberry Pi, and it runs on the voltage of your car, so it has a wide voltage input range. The problem I've had with running a hotspot in the car is that my Verizon hotspot device doesn't get very happy when it's very warm in the car. It wants to shut down when it's overheated. So hot sunny days like we have here in Spokane, it doesn't like to do that. So I've had to disable that for a while till it cools off. Anyway, back to you, Ted. Hopefully there's a little more information for you from Randy W4LTS.
Thank you, Randy, for that there. So, Aaron, did you answer all your questions? Do you have any follow-up there for Randy?
No, indeed, that does answer the question, so I appreciate that. I've heard of the snowball. I just didn't realize it was that sensitive or that inexpensive, so I will definitely have to pick one of those up. I appreciate that information. Thanks so much. And thanks, Randy, and everyone else on the net. So 73 is KD6QPK.
Okay, no problem. You're welcome. And also, just let people know, we also maintain a Facebook page. And on the Facebook, I just checked it. We have over 2,733 users. This is 2 new users. And to find the Facebook page, you go to facebook.com/groups, plural, /dstar.pi. And pi is spelled like the number, PI. So that's if you wish to have further information, or maybe other people pose questions there and maybe other people posted answers. So that's a good forum to learn about things that are going on, and also in the D-Star Raspberry Pi world. I'm at my bottom of my list there. Is there any further check-ins or people have any questions to ask during the Raspberry Pi net? This is EE7LEE, your net control.
KC9UDA.
W7SSK, John.
Thank you there, Don. And we have Bill at the top of the list, KC8YQL, then KD4LYV, KC9UDA, and Don from Mukilteo. Go ahead there, Bill, again. You're at the top of the list.
Hey, this is awesome hearing the guys check in here. I am impressed. I better hurry up and make it quick or they'll run off, right? And you did double with another station there, Teddy Lee, there at the end. I think you may have missed one. I should have told you guys, and I apologize earlier, that I am running the Blue DV with the DV thumb drive from Northwest Digital. And one of the things that's very, very, very squirrely about it, no matter where you run your mic gain at, for the All-Star Network, Echo Lake, guess I don't do any of that Google talk stuff, but I had to cut the mic gain level in less than half. So just beware if you ever do run the DV node for Windows or let me back up. Blue DV for Windows. It's awful hot on audio. And you can tell what happens, Lee or Ted, when I get close to the mic. Listen what it does. Don't that sound awful? So you gotta really be careful on the audio. Anyway, I got a little techie tip for Randy. Randy, one of the reasons that our cellular products, whether it's a hotspot or whether it's a telephone device or they even got embedded cell radios now and battery packs with Ethernet ports and so forth on them. Now those are foreign names, weird names, but they are available. Anyway, long story short, cut to the chase here. If you want that device to run just about flawless in your car, and you're not afraid to spend a couple bucks, pick up one of my Wilson is what we used to be called. Now we're called WeBoost. I'm a retailer for the WeBoost Wilson cellular products, but I don't talk too much about it over the air because I don't want Uncle Charlie to come and take my ham license from me. So it's 4G Sleek, SLEEK. I have one running right here next to me now. Beta testing one of these AT&T Mobiles. I have no signal on the Mobile here at my house. When I put that in the Sleek, it gives me a 73 negative dBm signal. I'm looking at it right now, logged in the control panel. And I'm locked on 4G LTE. So not only do they work for in your car, they get you a little antenna magnet mount goes on the roof of your car, such as your OnStar antenna does. It amplifies your unit 23 dB gain. And you can slide your cell phone in there, your jetpack in there, or whatever you have, and wirelessly right through the cover of your unit. It will amplify you about 23 dBm. And if you run one of those, you'll be surprised what the results will be. Not only will your unit run cooler because it's not having to search for signal, it will really kick your signal level up. That's all we got, Teddy Lee. I want to hear some of the guys' questions. KC8YQL, I can't wait.
Okay. Thank you there, Dale. And there, Jim, yes, I got you at the bottom of my list. Next is WA4LYV. Go ahead there, sir.
Okay, this is Whiskey Delta 4, Lima Yankee Victor. My name is Wayne, and I am in Sycamore, Georgia, running a Kenwood THT-74 into a Shark RF open spot. And one question that I had, Ted, was on that Tom DB, kind of thinking of some backup here. If that device is actually working well with the DMR System Fusion, and it's obviously it's working with DSAR, and just kind of curious on that. And enjoying the net, have listened for a while, and just got the RF hotspot or Shark RF in last week, and got it running, so we're having a good time with it here. This is WD4LYV.
Yeah, thank you there, Wayne. WD4LYV. Yes, I'm just looking at, I'm on the website for November WhiskeyDigitalRadio.com and looking at the Thumb DB, and that's a USB device and stuff like that, the baud rate. Yes, I'm not an expert on that. Let's see if anybody can help out Wayne there on the Thumb DB there. Does anybody can answer his question? This is EE7LEE.
KC8Y.
Well, Bill Key up there, KC8YQL. Go ahead and tell us about the Thumb DB.
Well, I really want to hear the Raspberry Pi stuff, but here we go hijacking you that even more. Sorry, Ted. The Fusion DMR and DMR is all in the control panel. However, the Fusion won't let you enable it. I believe David is going to be coming out with a release shortly that will enable Fusion to work. And this just came out a couple days, 2-3 days ago, I believe. So it's brand new. And the DMR works, but you have to go through the extended routing to be able to link it. And so it's not really real user-friendly, but I'm sure David's going to work on that too. And most likely, I would suspect he'll put a drop-down box where you can link, even your DMR talk groups too, just like on the OpenSpot has got, where you got a drop-down box where you can link it, if you want to, but normally, you use the OpenSpot like a repeater on DMR, and you use your radio. And that's one of the things that's really cool about the OpenSpot. It does act just like a repeater, and it absolutely needs no support other than an internet connection. No Windows, Raspberry Pi, BlueStack, or nothing. It just works. Can't say enough good about the OpenSpot. Hope that helps, Ted. And of course, I told you a little bit ago, I am talking to you on the Blue DV right now for Windows using the Northwest Digital thumb drive. I've actually been using the thumb drive for, 3 or 4 years, running it on Fred's WinDV software. That's the Dutch Star WinDV, and the author is Fred. Fred used to be in the Netherlands, now he's practically my neighbor. He lives just to my east in the state of Indiana, to the west of me, just west of Ohio here in the state of Indiana now. So that's my setup here. I usually run the WinDV software with the ThumbDV, but now David has come out with the Blue DV, enabling the other digital modes. So it looks like that's probably going to be the one to go with. Back to net control, PC or IQL. Oh, Ted, we got a DMR net coming up here in 10 minutes. We're on California statewide talk group 3106. Michael will be calling the DMR TechNet if anybody be interested in that, but I sure don't want to pull people away from this net. Back to net, PC or IQL.
Thank you there, Bill, for that. And Wayne, KD4LYV. Yeah, I was on the website here, nwdigitalradio.com, and it says the ME hardwire HW vocoder for DMR asterisk and DPMR asterisk. Then down below it says no software support for these protocols at these times. So yes, you would have to use on the ThumbDV. It's still a little experimental, I guess, as it says on its webpage. Do you have any other follow-up questions there, Wayne? This is EE7LEE.
Okay, TWD4LYV, Whiskey Delta 4 Lima Yankee Victor. And thanks for that information. We were just kind of gathering it while we had somebody that could had some experience with it. The only other thing, I have got my call sign in the hat for one of the boards. I can't remember. It starts with a Z, ZUM or something like that. It mounts on the Pi Zero to make a hotspot with it, and we are in the process of looking to build that up. So that's probably going to wind up being my backup now is to get me a Pi Zero when that with the I saw they had a Pi Zero that's got Wi-Fi in it now for about $10 or so, and that looks like a good little project here for the shack. WD4LYV 7310. Enjoy the day.
Thank you there, Wayne. WD4LYV for participating. Next, we have KC9, Uniform Delta Alpha. Go ahead there, sir.
Good evening, Ted. It's again. The guy about the power bank, I'm not sure how he's going to be charging his devices, but it does recommend that not to have it plugged into the AC outlet because it could end up shortening the life on the battery. So if he does have like his cell phone and his Raspberry Pi plugged into it, it's recommended that he doesn't have it plugged into an AC outlet. For the guy that's wanted information about the USB mic, I got a few of them here. If he wants to send me his address and stuff like that to my email at kc9uda@yahoo.com, I'll get one in the mail. It'll take probably about a week for me to dig around for it. So with that, turn it back over to you, Ted. Thanks again for doing that, KC9UA.
No problem there, Don. Thank you for participating. Next is Tom. Yeah, next is Don. Whiskey 7, SSK. Go ahead there, Don.
Hey, good evening to you, Ted. Well, I don't have any questions here this evening, just enjoying listening to all of the questions and the answers and so forth. And wanted to say hello to you and everybody on the net, especially W4LKS over in the Spokane area. With that, right back at you, VE7 LEEW.
Thank you there, Don. And next is Jim. Whiskey Alpha 7, Victor Foxtrot, Quebec. One of the also net controllers there. Let's see if he has a special announcement. Go ahead there, Jim. VE7LEE. Oh, maybe Jim didn't think I saw his call sign there. Let's give him another 5 seconds. Okay, with that, I'm at my end of my list, so we still got a few more minutes to the end of the net here, so I can take some more check-ins there. If you'd like to check in, please key up your name and your call sign, and that gives me a chance to write it down legibly. So please key up your name and your call sign. This is VE7LEE.
AB9FJ, wait.
NW6EJX, Bob.
I'll keep it short. Yes, go ahead there, Wayne. One of the other net controllers for the net, AB9FJ.
Yep, just thought I would make my presence known. Been listening here, just didn't have anything to say, but wanted to say hi. So, 73 from AB9FJ.
Well, thank you for checking in. Yes, your participation is important. And next is a guy that confused me here. He displays one thing, but he says another call sign. Go ahead there, Bob, with your call sign.
Well, that's easily fixed. I had that one set up for my lovely wife, and I forgot to switch it back from KK6LMC to W6BJX. And as you were saying that, I was switching it over. I had a feeling something weird would happen. See what happens when you have to share a radio. Anyway, good evening, everybody on Raspberry Pi Net, Bob W6CJX. Just got in from about a 400-mile round trip
work road trip today, and I'm safely back home and get ready to start another one tomorrow. And anyway, just been listening for the last probably half hour, 40 minutes, and everything sounds good. Enjoying the net. And just invite everyone over to tomorrow night. I'll be hosting the Papa System Tuesday night D-Star TechNet. My brain is gone today. Too much windshield time, I think. Anyway, at 8 p.m. on Reflector 12 Alpha. Everyone is always welcome. Please come by, say hi, ask a question. We'll try to answer it. And other than that, just come in and say hooty hoo. Anyway, good to hear you tonight, Ted, as always. And have a great rest of the evening from W6CJX Bob and Camarillo, Cali 498. And good to hear Bill out there and Randy also. 7-3.
Yeah, 73 there, Bob. Well, let's see if Jim is still there. Whiskey Alpha 7, Victor Foxtrot, Quebec. Are you still there, Jim? With that said, I'm at the bottom of the list. The computer says I got 1 minute or less. Is there any last moment check-ins there before we conclude the net tonight? This is your last opportunity. This is VE7LEE, your net controller.
Charlie 5, Alpha Lima Hotel, Paul, Big Spring, Texas.
W4LKS.
KC9SIO. Okay, we'll hold it there. We have Whiskey 0. Okay, well, this is what I wrote down. Whiskey 01VES, but I don't think that's right. Then we got Paul from Big
Heard this net mentioned on the MinWiz Technical Fusion net. I figured I'd link my repeat of the
Oh, Brian, your signal died out after you said you linked your computer. You come back again. We'll come back to him again. Next is Paul from Big Spring, Texas there, KC5, Alpha Lima Hotel. Go ahead there, Paul.
Yeah, okay, good evening. Hello to everybody on the Raspberry Pi net tonight there. KC5ALH, Paul, Big Spring. And I do still have a Pi 2 with a board. Have no problems with it. It works every time. D-Star Commander's on the image. But right now I'm coming to you off of a Kenwood 74, and we've taken a walk headed to
Texas snow cone. Restaurants can stay open. It has no natural snow in the wintertime to compete against. So, no, wouldn't last too long up here in Canada. Snow cone business will just be open maybe 3 months a year. With that said, we're back to Randy. Whiskey 4, LKS. Go ahead there again, Randy.
Thank you, Ted. Thanks for being our host tonight. Once in a blue moon, I guess. Must be blue moon night or something. That's cool that Paul has a 24/7 snow cone shop in walking distance from his place, so I'm kind of envious of that. It's warm here today in Spokane. Well, about a little over a week ago, I switched from D-Star Commander on my hotspot to Compass Linux, and then, of course, with that, you install the G4KLX software manually. So I just copied my config files from my D-Star Commander setup over to Compass Linux, and it has worked perfectly for over a week now, and I have not had to go and unplug the power and plug it back in. So that's something I've been complaining about for a while. Anyway, I'll be your host next Monday night, right here, Reflector 38 Charlie. So come on back next Monday night and say howdy to me. It's W4LKS. Thanks, Ted. Talk to you later. Back to the net.
Thank you there, Randy. And next we have the other net controller there, Steve, KC9SIO. Go ahead there, Steve.
Good evening, Ted, and everyone on the Raspberry Pi D-Star Net tonight. Name, of course, is Steve here in Champaign, Illinois, about 140 miles south of Chicago, with an ID51A Plus, running a 10th of a watt, my D-Star hotspot, of course, consisting of a Raspberry Pi 2 running D-Star Commander 2.1 with a DV Mega. Well, I haven't had the courage to try anything else but D-Star Commander. With this Raspberry Pi and DV Mega, so at least I haven't had the courage to do it yet. But anyway, I probably will somewhere down the line. Anyway, it sounded like a good net tonight. So you did a great job as always, Ted. And I'd like to invite everyone on here to come over to 1 Charlie on Sunday nights, 7 p.m. Central Time for the International D-Star Net. As the majority of you know, that's the oldest and longest running net on D-Star, and normally, Connie, KB0ZSG usually runs that. But as you guys all very well know, I fill in for her in times when she's unavailable. But anyway, like I said, Sunday nights, 7 p.m. Central Time on Reflector 1 Charlie. And with that, Ted, and also, the Truckers, Travelers, and RVers D-Star Net is on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Central Time, 0000 hours UTC on Reflector 61 Bravo. And to get to their page, get to their Facebook group, just type in D-Star REF061 Bravo, and it should come up with Truckers, Travelers, and RVers in parentheses, and just send in a request to join, and an admin will get you in. And of course, there's a motorcyclist net out there, the motorcyclist special interest net, I believe it's called. That's Friday nights at 7:30 p.m. Central Time, also on Reflector 61 Bravo. And just go to the REF061 Bravo page that I just mentioned, and just click on their link, I guess. Anyway, with that, Ted, I'll turn it back over to you. Everybody have a great week, and I'll catch all of you in 2 weeks when I'm net control. DE7LEE and the Raspberry Pi D-Star Net sit from KC9SIO 73 all the way around.
Thank you there. Yes, so I just been reminded it's past 8 o'clock there. Somebody else here wants my attention, but let's give Brian one more chance there. Whiskey Oscar 1, Victor Echo Sierra, the Wolf. You still there, Brian?
Hopefully I am this time. I'm not sure what happened. I gave you guys a nice big transmission there, and apparently you didn't hear it. Are you hearing me now?
Yes, we are. So, yes, we only got about the first 10 seconds of your big transmission.
Well, at least you heard the beginning of it anyway. I'm not sure what happened there. I was on my D74, transmitting into my repeater that I'm in the process of building. It's It's a DR1X with a UDRC board there and a Raspberry Pi, so at least I'll fit in with this net. But anyway, I don't know how much you heard, but I did hear about this net on the Winwiz Fusion Technical Nets. I thought I'd give you guys a check-in over here. I guess I'm going to have to do some investigating as to what's gone on the radio. They've gone on with my radio there. I actually switched to my ICOM IC80 instead. Seems to be getting into the repeater battle, so I'm not sure what happened there. Anyway, other than that, not much else to comment on here, but I'm sure I'll be checking in again. So I'll say 7-3, and I hope everybody has a great week. This is WO1VEF.
Thank you there, WO1VES. Yes, I may do the same, because I got a DR1X2 running Wires X right now. I don't know if I'm going to... Well, I also got my little Raspberry Pi repeater system using a DVAP and a Raspberry Pi. License is EE7REF, EA7REF, but it only puts out 10 milliwatts. It only has a range of half a mile. If I use my, DR1X, yes, I would have increased range, but we have plenty of D-Star repeaters nearby here anyway. So, yes, with that said, this concludes the net. I'd like to thank everyone who checked in there. And so yes, somebody wants me to go out now. I'm 10 minutes over my limit, I said approximately. And so I'd like to thank the NoDig people, Northern Ohio Digital Interface Group, and I believe those are the owners that run this reflector, 38, for letting us use this reflector. And if this reflector is down and not working, we will hold the net back on our original reflector, 26 Alpha, the Vancouver, BC reflector. So I'd like to thank everyone for keying up and transmitting, participating, because without your participation, we wouldn't have a net tonight. And this net will reconvene next week, same place, same time, on Reflector 38 Charlie, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and all the time zones in between. So 73s, and your net controller tonight was Ted VE7LEE. So now returning the repeater and the reflectors to normal amateur use. So let's give everyone about 15 to 30 seconds to disconnect. This is VE7LEE.
KC9SIO. M4RHE